Bismillah walhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum Cam. Good morning, good evening, good night. I don't know. Whenever you're watching this. But anyway, let's hop right into this. So we're actually going to cover verbs today. A little bit more than the past tense verb. Sorry if this is misleading. But we said in English a verb is an action, and in Arabic a verb is usually made up of two main parts. You have the action, and then sometimes you have the doer, which can be either inside the verb or outside of the verb. But before we get into that, we need to review our pronouns. So what we have here are all of the detached pronouns, right? All the ones that you memorize. So huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. So we then take these and we apply them to the past tense verbs, right? So huwa, even though we don't see any sign of huwa in there, we know that it's just built into the verb, right? The gender is just built in there. So nasara means he helped. It has the gender built in there. But if we go over here, we could see part of the huma actually sticking out, and it's that alif there. So that's what happens when it attaches itself to a past tense verb, and it means they or both of them helped. And then nasaru, that's how hum looks when it's inside of nasara, meaning they or all of them help. And it continues just through like that. So hiya, you add a ta on the end, so it becomes nasarat. For huma, for females, you just add the alif again, so nasarata. And then for hunna, you add a noon on the end, nasarna. And then for anta, you add a ta on the end, tuma, add a tuma on the end, and tum, add a tuma on the end, and so forth, right? So these are the past tense verbs that you went through. So now let's hop into the present tense verbs, right? And the present tense verb is pretty interesting. Pretty much in order to make a verb present tense, there's 3 steps. You take your past tense verb. So let's take, for example, nasara. First thing you do is that you prefix a ya to the beginning. So it would become ya nasara, right? So nasara, which means he helps. First step, it becomes ya nasara. Second step is to put a sukoon on the second letter. So now it becomes yansara. Then the last step is that you change the middle and you change the end. So this should actually be not yansaru, but yan. Sorry. I'm just gonna rewrite that. Should be yen suru, right? With a dhamma on the end. So this middle part, when you put words into present tense, it can change. Sometimes it could be yen suru, or it could be fataha yaftahu, or it could be daraba yadribu. You see, it's going between a, e, and u. And the only way you can really know that is by going into the dictionary, looking up the past tense of a word, and you'll see beside that word an A, E, an A, I, or U. And that will tell you if it's going to have a dhamma in the middle, or if it's going to have a fatha in the middle, or a kasra in the middle. So we'll learn that. We'll do an entire dictionary lesson, right? But anyway, this is the present tense table, which I believe you studied already. So it'd be yansuru, which means he helps, yansurani, as we can see that ani making a return, just like it with nouns, meaning two. So they, two, both of them help. Yansuruna, so that una, just like muslimuna, meaning they or all of them help. And then tansuru, tansurani, yansuru, yansurna. So they all kind of follow a pattern. So for third person, there's the yaz, and then for third person feminine, you have the taz. But then for third person feminine plural, it has a ya. So watch out for that one. That one's a little bit tricky sometimes. Yansurna. And then third person feminine and second person masculine are pretty much the exact same, except for the plural here, which is similar to third person masculine plural, except it has a ta. And the rest are pretty straightforward. So going on to something new, there's this concept known as the verbal noun, and in Arabic it's called the masdar. And what this essentially is doing is that it's taking the concept out of the verb And you do that by taking a verb and removing the doer and removing the tense. So let's take a word such as he hit, right? It's in the past tense. If we remove he and we remove the doer, if we remove the doer and we remove the past tense, it just becomes to hit, right? That's it. If we took he helped and we remove the doer, which is he, we remove the past tense, which is ed, you're left with to help or help. It's just the concept of helping, right? That's what the masdar is. And it's called a verbal noun, so it's treated as a noun, right? And the verbal noun follows no particular pattern. The only way to know what it looks like is actually just going to the dictionary. And it will have, beside the past tense verb, it will have a bracket showing what the masdar is. So it would go something like this. Nasara yansuru nasran. So we have the past tense, which means he helped. Then we have the present tense, which means he helps. Then we have the masdar, which means help. And we can expand all of these and put them through the 12 sequences that we see above, right? Put them through all of the different genders and numbers. So if I wanted to expand this, I could. It'd be nasara, nasara, nasaru, nasarat, nasarata, nasarna, nasarta, nasartuma, nasartum, nasarti, nasartuma, nasartuna, nasartu, nasarna. If I wanted to expand this, it could be yansuru, yansurani, yansuruna, tansuru, tansurani, yansurna, tansuru, tansurani, tansuruna, tansurina, tansurani, tansurna, ansuru, nansuru, right? And you could do that for all of these. So actually, just by knowing one of these words, you now automatically know 12, right? Because you know all the genders that are associated with it. So you know how to say she helped, you helped, I helped. All those are different words in Arabic, right? So then there's fataha, yaftahu. Notice how the ta has a fatha on there, and then fathan. So usually in Arabic what they do is that they divide verbs up into these 6 categories. And it's literally just based on how the past tense looks and how the present tense looks, right? So if the past tense has a fatha in the middle and the present tense has a dhamma in the middle, it's said that it's on the pattern. It's on, let's say the pattern? It's in the category of nasara, right? But really it's not too critical to know this. What you just really need to know is that by using the dictionary, if you look at a word when it's in its past tense, you can figure out what the ending is by looking for an A, I, or U. And we're going to show you how to do that. So it'd go nasara, yansuru, nasran, then fataha, yaftahu, fathan, daraba, yadribu, darban, sami'a, yasma'u, sam'an, hasiba, yahsibu, hisbanan, karuma, yakramu, karuma, yakrumu. Rumu karamatan, right? So as you can see, they're not following a specific pattern. They change up every so often. You're really just going to have to look into the dictionary to know those. And Ustad gave a really clever way, a little sentence here or statement on how we could remember it. And it's, we all need help, right? So help is nasara, to open by force. So daraba is like to strike or to go at something with force. Our hearing, which is sami'a. We also hear that every day in salah. Sami'a Allahu liman hamida. That we understand, so that we understand well and become honorable. Right? So that's just a way of memorizing these 6 here, which act as categories in order to figure out middles. Next up is the doer, which is known as the fa'il. And the fa'il is treated like a noun. To turn a verb into the doer of that action, put it on the pattern of fa'il. So if I want to make kharaja, which means he left, into the person who's leaving, all you say is kharijun, right? Just add that alif onto the first letter. If I want to make nasara into the one who helps or helper, then you make it nasirun. And then if you want to make daraba, which means he hit, into the hitter, you say daribun. So now this table would look something like this. Nasara yansuru nasran. So he helped, he helps, to help. Therefore, this person who does all of these things is the helper. So we would say Nasara yansuru nasran فهو, therefore, ناصر, right? So فتح, he opened. يفتح, he opens. فتحا, to open. Therefore, this person is فهو فاتح, the opener or a opener. ضرب يضرب ضربا فهو ضارب. سمع يسمع سمعا فهو سامع. حسب يحسب حسبانا فهو حاسب. كرم يكرم, man, made that mistake again. يكرم كرامة فهو كريم, right? So, just want to give you a little bit of a snippet of what's coming next. This is what's known as the first family. They all act with certain characteristics, which we haven't actually learned, but we're going to learn later on in the Taqwa program. But the next family that's coming up, and there's 10 in total, is the family of Ulema, right? They follow a pattern like that. And this one I remember Ustad mentioning some time back, but this family, they have something special about it. It has to do with doing an action like constantly. Like you've done it a lot, almost like the nth degree of doing that action, right? So let's say we take a word which is alima. So it's in family 1, it is alima, and it means he knows. So if somebody knows something very, very well and they've done it so many times, they're now ready to teach it. Therefore, they're allama, which means to teach, right? Or he taught. And then there's qatala, which means he killed. If somebody ends up killing a lot, it turns into a massacre, which means he massacred. So that's what's up ahead. I don't know if Nina assigned this chart to you yet, but you're going to have to do it. So when it comes around, make sure to get this down. Alright. Assalamu alaikum.